Geological Resources Standard 14. And this is when I drew that whole picture on the board, volcanoes and rocks and where the sources of water were. And I showed where you would find like precious gems and metal ores. I had that big picture on the board for like a week or two. So natural resources, the main point of this standard was natural resources are unevenly distributed across the Earth's surface. And the reason for that is because where the natural resources are is based on the rock cycle. So the rock cycle is geological processes. Okay, so let's just review that rock cycle. So we know that there are 3 types of rocks. We've got igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, I mean, that's the process. Metamorphic rocks. Let's put sedimentary over here. Okay, so in order to form igneous rocks, you need other rocks. And igneous rocks can go through a volcanic eruption. The same rocks can go through the same process again and become igneous rocks. But metamorphic rocks can become igneous rocks too, through heating and I think actually it's melting, not just heating. So melting and cooling. Okay, and then the same is true over here, melting and cooling. That's the process that makes an igneous rock, and that is basically volcanoes. When it goes through a volcano, the rock, whether it was metamorphic or was sedimentary, it is melted down and out spews igneous rock. Now, igneous rock can stay inside the volcano, and they call that intrusive igneous rock, or it can be spewed outside of the volcano, and that's extrusive igneous rock. When magma or lava is inside of the volcano, it's called magma, and then outside of the volcano, it's called lava. So that's that process. Let's pick a different process for metamorphic rock. So any of these other things can become metamorphic rock. Again, a metamorphic rock can go through its own cycle and become a metamorphic rock again. It'll change and be different, but it'll still be categorized as a metamorphic rock. So igneous rocks can become metamorphic rocks too. And the process to become a metamorphic rock is heat and pressure. So that is probably why we need those fault lines to complete the process of making metal ores, because we've got both heat and pressure and volcanic activity that is just like, heating and cooling those rocks, plus pressing them and creating precious gems and metal ores out of them. Okay, so heat and pressure is that process there. The sedimentary rock can also become a metamorphic rock through heat and pressure. And then, I think that, so these 2 rocks can become that. Now, the sedimentary rock is the last process, type of process to become a sedimentary rock. So a metamorphic rock can become a sedimentary rock through weathering and erosion. And there's like 3 other processes. We'll call them sedimentation and I think a deposition, which is different than the deposition of our phase changes. from a gas straight to a solid. It's a different kind of deposition. Deposition means it's basically it's all that grains of sand and dust and stuff that's weathered from these types of rocks, from other landforms, from sedimentary rocks themselves, and from igneous rocks. These guys, igneous rocks can become sedimentary too. Over time, they're weathered and eroded, and then they are deposited into the earth. That's pretty much what this means. Deposition means they're deposited into the earth or at a low sea level point, like at the bottom of an ocean, they often end up, or just at a low level. And then they're compacted, and I can't remember the word for this, but it's basically compacted or compressed, and over time becomes a hard, solid rock. So that's the sedimentation process. This stuff also happens right up here from igneous to sedimentary. So these are like happening randomly. These processes are happening randomly all over the face of the earth. So wherever there's a volcano, right, we're having, the magma under the earth is going through the igneous rock process, which is melting and cooling. And we know that they form pockets over here to the sides. And then that metamorphic process probably comes in somewhere over here where a fault line is. So we've got two land masses colliding and also, creating metamorphic rocks. So, okay, I'm sick of talking. All right, so basically the point is that it's because of this rock cycle that is creating this uneven distribution of our geological resources.